1, 2. Hello. Hi everyone. It's Stuart Murdoch here again. More technical difficulties, believe it or not, but we overcame. So let me just check with my colleague Laura that we are in fact that everything's working. Laura, just give me a wee text if the microphone and everything is good. Well, let's just, I guess we can just assume that we are working because Cormac and Yao Pedrosa have already are already waving, saying hi. And Carol and Craig. Okay, so we're on. So you guys can hear me okay? Jessica, you can, am I coming in loud and clear? Because I want to have a nice relaxed meditation today. Last week was a little bit bumpy. You know, I don't know what happened with maybe the signal wasn't so good. All right, I'm turning my phone off. So, the topic for today's discussion, it's not really a discussion, it's just me talking. But, you know, maybe we could actually have a discussion later. That might be fun if you've got any feedback. Oh my god, cramp. Yeah, so the topic I picked was There's Too Much Love, which is the name of one of our songs if you're not a fan of the band. It actually would be, it's nice to think that there may be that there's maybe more than just fans of the band watching and tuning in, but There's Too Much Love was one of our songs on our fourth album. But that was a genuine it was a genuine thing at the time. I remember you know, writing that song and being caught up in a kind of crazy mixture of sort of emotions and things, and we are very emotional creatures, and sometimes it would be nice to be less emotional, to be honest. It's good for songs, and it's good for stories and films and movies and transient parts in your life, but to be honest, that the push and pull of love and emotion can get to be a pain in the arse after a while, and it can really mess with your mind, and considering, you know, what we're trying to focus on here is almost like a peaceful mind. We're looking for a peaceful mind, which is almost like the antithesis to the business that I'm in, which is a pop music songwriter. So I hope you appreciate that irony, and that maybe I'm kind of talking myself out of a job here. But you know, we all want to be happy. That's the thing that binds us. That's the thing that makes us not only just human but alive. Every living thing just wants to be happy. You know, if the trees could talk, I'm just looking at them now. I have a particular bond with trees, and I wish they could talk, like in Lord of the Rings, because you know they want to be happy too. They all want to thrive. Everybody wants to thrive and be happy. Actually, when I was younger, I used to think that was maybe slightly in doubt, that maybe that wasn't, maybe I just, you know, maybe there were certain things that better than being happy, being cool or mysterious or living dangerously. But there's a bit of BS bullshit wrapped up in that. I think, underneath we all want to be happy, and we go about it in funny ways. We go about it in crazy ways, and we chase things. We attach ourselves so easily to things that we think will make us happy, whether that's a person or a pet or a house or a record collection, and or food or something like that. But I can assure you that in the end, none of these things make us happy. Um, and I don't mean that I don't mean that in a sort of airy fairy way, like I'm a preacher or something like that. I'm talking about a scientific way. If you analyze any of these things, they'll always kind of let you down in the end. Something will let you down. They will not make you happy. Your only your mind can make you happy. Only getting a peaceful mind. You can eat as much chocolate as you want, and obviously the first bite or the first bar is really nice, but once you get to bar 10, you just want to puke up. And let's assume that it would be the same with somebody you love or think you really love. I mean, in the end, you could probably sicken of them, and that's not their fault. That's you and your expectations of them, and your attachment to them. No, it's funny. I was thinking about the songwriting thing. That song that when I wrote that song, there's too much love, and it was one of those rare occasions that are. I'm glad that it happened, because it was nice to write a song about it, and it was a good night. When I arrived at a club with somebody, and then my somebody that I used to go with, a significant ex, was there as well, and then also a significant person that I wanted to be with was there as well, and it blew my mind that they were all in the same place at the same time, and but what are you going to do? It's not going to, chasing three people and trying to make them happy. It's not, that's never going to work out. Um, like I say, it was okay for a song. Um, I was sitting in a class, like this one. Well, not like this one, but I go to a Buddhist class in the centre of Glasgow. The Kadampa Buddhist class, and um, I've been going for 6 or 7 years now, and I go a lot. I don't care what the class is about. I just like to go there, and it's a nice place and you meet nice people, and I always find the meditations are useful, and I always pick up something from the thoughts and the chat that the teachers do. And there was one nun who's called Drolker, and she's in Brighton now, and she was my teacher for a long while. And I remember one time, and I think it was I didn't really know her that well, and she was talking about pop music, and she was talking about films and pop music and culture and things, but she had a particular thing to say about pop songs. She just thought they were ridiculous. She was just saying, well, listen to this pop song and listen to that pop song. These people are pathetic. What do they want? What do they expect? They're expecting too much. They're looking for love in the wrong place. They're expecting their life to be this endless pinnacle of extreme emotion, and it seems that that's what they want. And to her it was painful to listen to this stuff. And I was thinking, well, I was brought up on that. We're all kind of we're brought up on movies and films and TV shows, and especially pop songs, and that seem to encapsulate this heady heady emotion. But like she was saying, in real life, um, that can become pretty painful. So I was having a little chuckle to myself because she was giving this class, and I was sitting there, me um, the professional pop song writer or whatever. Um, I don't know. I don't think she knew my occupation at that time. But I agreed with her. I found myself agreeing with her, and um, although it's fun to sing those old songs, I think probably what I write about has changed over the years. I hope it does, and I I think the songs that I write now, there often is, I try to slip a little bit of dharma into the songs, and dharma is what is the word for sort of Buddhist wisdom, Buddhist teaching. I don't do it deliberately, but I just feel something always ends up in a song these days. So maybe one of these days, Draw Cobb, actually she'll listen to one of our records, and she might approve of it a little bit more. Um, actually, here's another cultural moment I was thinking about. I was thinking about a lot of you've seen the movie The Graduate, and the end of that movie is very famous. Benjamin gets what he wants. He gets, they end up together. He breaks up the wedding, and they elope. They escape from all the crazy people, and it's a brilliant ending. It's exhilarating, and it smashes all the norms, and you're cheering for them, and then they end up on the back of this bus, and the exhilaration dies down a little bit, and then they're left sort of looking at the camera as the credits roll, and you just feel, well, this is the start of the rest of their lives, and the sort of challenges to stick together, and all the so-called boring stuff, but that's actually what life is made of. It's not about these it's not about the kind of crazy moments that the songwriters and the film writers would have us sort of believe. See, I'm talking myself out of a job here. um, but I find myself more these days. I get a little bit bored of. We are going to do a meditation, by the way. We are. I hope. I was kind of leaving the meditation to a little bit later. We're going to meditate on love. Don't worry. So I hope this chat isn't annoying you too much. If you expected to just get right into the relaxation, but we're going to focus on you in a minute, definitely. But I was just thinking more about those kind of movies and films and stories, and all those kind of legendary loves and legendary couples and Shakespeare and all that thing. But sometimes I find that stuff a little bit boring. The idea of couples that are they're so into each other that they don't have time for anything else. Everybody admires this so-called perfect love, and isn't it wonderful? And it's a little bit boring. I think the good couples, I think the good the people I want to be around, the couples I admire, the families I admire, are the ones that sort of look outwards as well. They're comfortable in their relationship. They're comfortable in their love for each other, and they're ready for all comers. They're looking out to the world, and they're ready for for everybody else. They're ready to embrace people that aren't just in their family or aren't just in their close friends or neighbors and stuff like that. Um, those that's the kind of relationship I want to be in, and um, because there's a whole world out there. Let me show you the whole world a second. I'm going to show you the view from the window because I love just looking out this window. I hope the connection doesn't go down. Yeah, there's the whole world. Look, and stretching to the horizon. So just want to spread the love. Um, that's the topic of today's meditation. We're going to come up to. It's not like you can see a lot of people out there. Actually, it's mostly just trees. But spread the love to the trees as well. Jealousy. Jealousy is another a thing that arises. When you get these very intense relationships, and then sometimes jealousy arises, and that is just a big waste of time and energy for everyone. And you might feel justified in your feelings or your jealousy, but that is just causing you pain in the end. So I know that's a difficult one. I mean, that's a whole subject for another day, but there's nothing good about it. And just a couple more things before we get into the meditation. One, I think that sometimes the communities in which we're living in, in the culture in which we're living in, it sometimes is so much pressure to be in a relationship and or be in a family, or conform to this or that, and it's sometimes I think people make you feel like a failure. I mean, I was for different circumstances, I was single for so many years of my life early on, my 20s and 30s, and sometimes you feel like a bit of a failure, and but bollocks to that, because we're all in a relationship with every living thing on the planet. There's no rules. There's plenty of people to love. There's plenty of people to cherish. They're all out there. I think it's healthier if we can, if we're more even-minded about it. If we can actually love people a lot more evenly and cherish them, I think it's so much healthier for the whole planet. I think we wouldn't get into so much trouble, so much difficulties, because relationships extend to families, extend to friends, extend to tribes, and it becomes tribal, like we're better than them, or I'm looking after my own, or then the next thing you know, you're building walls and you're lobbing bombs at each other. It's all an extension. It all starts in the mind. All that stuff, wars and politics, bad politics, are not an accident. They start in the minds of people. So if we can improve our minds, which I want to do that. I want to improve my mind and have a more peaceful mind. Then I think it would be good for lots of people. Certainly the people round about me, if I can be more patient, because sometimes I'm not very patient. So let us get into this meditation. It looks as if we're going to run a little bit late again. I hope that's okay. But I know, I know that some of you, when you were getting back to me, like my brother and his family were watching the meditation, and he said, "Oh, well, we didn't do the meditation. We just sat around. We just had our lunch, and we had you sitting on the table on the computer." So I know some of you just like to listen to the chat, maybe, but for those who want to do the meditation, let's do it. I'm gonna get comfortable. I'll get my crampy leg back. I put on too many layers. Sorry, I'm a terrible layer guy. That's better. Just block out the sun for a sec. Okay. All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and dogs and cats. Because I know we have some pet meditators as well. Get in a comfortable seated position with a straight back. Now, we're going to do this meditation similar to one we did a few weeks ago. We're going to try and cherish some people. If you like to just close your eyes or keep them a little bit open, maybe you can put your hands in your lap or something. Let's get comfortable. And just bring your thoughts inward. Now we're going to start with the breathing. So if you just bring your thoughts in, we're so lucky that we can enjoy this relatively quiet moment. So just leave the other stuff behind for now. There's nothing that important. Can't wait. And just focus on your breathing for a few minutes. If you can just notice where the air is coming in the tip of your nose. If your mind wanders, don't worry about it, that's part of the deal. Just bring your attention back on the breath. already our minds are getting a little bit more peaceful. Our bodies are settling down. Just focus on your breath for another minute or so. So now we found a little bit of peace, a little bit of focus. I hope you feel a little bit calmer now. So this is a good time to think about love, because I do think that our hearts are it's like a flower or something, and you just need to give it a bit of sun and it opens. So I bet in this peaceful moment our hearts feel a little bit more open and receptive. But it's hard just to meditate on love. It's an active thing, so it's better to pass it on. So I want you to first of all think of someone who is close to you, somebody you're fond of. Just spend a few minutes wishing that they would be well and wishing that they would be happy. Okay, so that's almost the easy part. You know that person, you're fond of them, you feel close to them. Loving them is relatively easy. So now pick somebody you don't know so well, the so-called neutral person. Could be somebody you work with, or somebody you're in a club with, or somebody you even just see at the supermarket. And just for a couple of minutes, I want you to wish them health, good health and happiness. Okay, folks, so lastly, just take that feeling, take that desire to cherish other folk, and let's just move a little bit wider and think about the town you live in, or the village, wherever you are, the community you're in. And then out to the country you're in. There's hope for health and happiness for yourself and for everyone, for all living things on the planet. you'd like to start coming out of meditation now. You can open your eyes. I hope you found some peace. I hope you feel a little bit more peaceful now. And again, it's not just about you, because we've wished all these good feelings on to other people. So we're trying to spread it around, because it's free. So we ran a little bit over again. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll extend the class to 45 minutes next week. Like the lunchtime news. Because there's so much to talk about. There's so much good stuff to meditate about. All right. Yeah. And if you have any questions or any thoughts that arose from this week's class, you can either get back to me on Facebook, on the Balanced Sebastian page, or you can email me at stuartmurdoch@gmail.com, which is a pretty easy email to remember. Great. Okay, well, I'm gonna get going, but thank you so much for joining me. Again, I really enjoy this stuff because you'll show up, and I'll speak to you. I'll be here next week with a different subject. Bye for now.